religions and their teachings as well. So one such amazing religion is Buddhism. So Buddhism has like eightfold path of meditation. So if you can go through eightfold part of meditation, I think you will be very clear about what Buddhism has to offer to you. Who was Buddha? Like how did Siddhartha start his journey? All of these things are genuinely a part of what Buddhism has to offer to you. Second part, now that you're done with ancient India, you understand the characteristics of it and how it has influenced the Indian structure. You go on to the second development. That second development is called medieval India. So medieval India had the rise of kings and queens, I would say, and rise of extremely historical monuments which are also relevant right now. If you go to like Qutub Minar, Red Fort, Safdarjung Tomb, Tughlaqabad, all of these like structures are generally inspired by the medieval architecture. So you can divide this sub theme into multiple other questions as well. This can look like what was the Mughal dynasty, who was Akbar, who was Babur, who was Humayun, and what is the architecture in medieval India, and what did Rajputs do. So you just have to get a glimpse and you just have to get a timeline of it. Again, like history is an extremely wide topic, and this theme also has an intersection of science, technology, history obviously, but like polity, society, how was the architecture like, what was the cave paintings, all of these things are genuinely related to how society functioned. So we don't get into depth because we don't want to know when did Babu die, but we also need to understand what did Babu do to the entire like Indian subcontinent that influenced its structure. So yes, try to get a very let's say comprehensive idea of the timeline of the developments that India has had. Lastly, modern India. So modern India is an extremely, let's say, relatively new development, and I think most of you are familiar with it. So I think you must have been familiar with the developments that G20 summit in India had, or what is Chat GPT? How is India developing itself in technological realm? We have so many satellites. I think Chandrayaan. All of this proves that India is developing, and India is coming out of that archaic notion, and we are trying to grow like via economically. We are also trying to grow our human development index, and we are really economically growing as well. So all of your latest developments come from current let's say developments in newspapers or the editorial news that you see in Hindu. All of these things are important for you to understand modern India. So yes, I hope you're all clear with the timeline that you are following. Start from ancient India, end at modern India, and try to get a timeline of when the most important things were happening. So let's say Satyagraha or the civil disobedience movement. How did Britishers actually stop colonizing our country? When was like the first Constituent Assembly was established? All of these topics actually help you to increase your general knowledge, but also helps you to make arguments which are nuanced. What is a nuanced argument? An argument which is deep and it is analytical as well. Yes, I will stop for 5 to 10 seconds and I will answer questions which is related to the theme. I see a couple of hands. Himanshi, go ahead. Only related to the theme. Host, if we can unmute them, I'll take doubts.
Ma'am, actually, I was having a doubt that what kind of arguments can we make there in the debates?
We will be doing mocks and preparations related to these topics, so I will come to that. Don't worry.
All fine, ma'am.
Great, Krish.
Ma'am, so the themes we are getting, so we just need to like roughly know an idea of like what happened and what happened when, and just like a brief explanation of why this happened and how it happened.
Yes, just be very aware about how did the most important developments in India actually happen. That's all.
Okay, and who was behind it?
Yes.
Okay.
Debashmi?
Yes, ma'am. So to research on the topic, we have to make sure that we can connect the like the advancements we made in modern India with the one in advancements made in ancient India.
Yes, exactly. Everything is very intersecting.
Oh, okay, that's all. Thank you.
Putul?
Yeah, ma'am. So actually, I wanted to ask you, do we need to like remember the dates when things happened, or just like the people and about the culture?
I'm not discouraging you to remember dates. If you can about the most important details, sure. But if you don't have to remember the details of like very intricate historical events that we've had. Obviously, remember the dates of when was the First World War fought, or when did India fight with like Buxar. All of these things are just like genuinely a general knowledge thing. But try to derive arguments out of it, as opposed to just trying to memorize or rote learn.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Masti?
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask that we can use the material from our books too.
I'm so sorry, Swasti, if you can repeat yourself.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that we can use the materials from our books too.
Yes. As long as you're getting like maximum like learning objectives out of those topics, yes.
And ma'am, I also said that these themes are also divided into another motions that will be asked from us in the selection round of qualifiers.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Poojas?
Ma'am, I wanted to confirm that yesterday in the speech you told that we should end with like proud to oppose or proud to propose. So with that, do we also mention our topic?
Yes. I mean, it's important that you actually start. Your introduction should not be the repetition of the motion, because you waste your time. You wouldn't want to waste your time in your entire debate speech by repeating things which everybody knows apparently. So try to ensure that you introduce the topic as opposed to repeating what the motion is and what everybody already knows. Works?
Okay.
Okay, Tridan?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I had a doubt of ma'am means can we also ma'am means have a only we have to glimpse of topic, right?
Yes.
Not
Yes.
to the yes, ma'am. And ma'am, we have to ma'am also remember the means the attacks that were occurred in India by the foreigners.
Yes.
Can we learn
And
that?
how did it actually
Okay.
impact the mindset of Indian people?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just one of the things that I want to clarify to all of you is that obviously we will go through these rounds or these sub themes by the round. So which means for the qualifiers, it's going to be ancient India. But I love Dipanshi's comment on saying you can always correlate it to modern India. So let's carry on. Kaushiki ma'am.
Okay, I will be taking more doubts later on when I'm actually explaining the format, because most of your questions are related to the structure as well as how do you want to delve with the theme. Great. Yes, let's understand this format and be very clear with what the structure actually wants you to do, because most of your queries arise from there. So note, it's a 1 versus 1 format in qualifiers, which actually start from 26th October, ends at 7th November. All the details will be given to you. What is this 1 versus 1 format? So note, you will obviously have 2 sides. The first side is called proposition or for. The other side is called opposition or negative. Side for or side proposition always supports or favors the motion. What is the motion? It's a topic. On opposition always negates whatever side proposition has been saying. So let's say your topic is, this house believes that teacher should be replaced by AI. I will write this theme so that everybody knows the context. This house believes that teachers should be replaced by AI. AI. Great. So on side proposition, you will agree that yes, teachers should be replaced by AI, and then you introduce the topic just like I explained it yesterday, and then you give like pointers as to why teachers will be better off when you start replacing them with AI. Maybe you can have better efficiency, you will have more work being done by AI, and it is much more faster. See, you don't have to deal with the mood swings of teachers, because AIs generally have a very stable mood and they can address every queries that students from all sorts probably have. This can be an argument from proposition. What will opposition do? Opposition disagrees with everything that side proposition has been saying for so long. So the same thing, you start with an introduction, you obviously have an explanation of the points that you have been like putting forth, and then you conclude. What are some of the points that you will be having on opposition? I will discuss it. So on opposition, you can say that teachers are humans and humans have emotional bonding, because students are not becoming AI. It's just that the teacher is getting replaced by AI. Do you think most of the problems that students face can be dealt by an artificial intelligence? I don't think so. So a teacher understands the issues that a student faces on a regular basis. So more emotional connection. Second, I think teachers can clarify doubts in a much more personalized manner and can tailor its teaching experience. And teachers also like treat you like guardians and your students and your children as well. So there's more like emotional, but also like more love and more bonding which is there. Great. This is an argument on both sides. So let's understand the format and be pretty vigilant about it. So proposition speech has one speech which is called constructive speech. What is a constructive speech? It's called main speech. It is the first time that you're going in front of the judges and you're actually presenting your main points. And you will speak for how many minutes? 3 minutes. Remember it. Similarly, you have an opposition constructive speech. An opposition constructive speech lasts for 3 minutes. So you will have prop, you will have op, 3 minutes each. Let's go to the next phase. The next phase looks like after the end of the opposition speech, which is the main constructive speech, you will have a reply speech given by proposition. And then you will end your format with the help of an opposition reply. All of these speeches are for 3 minutes each, and the entire debate round will last for 12 minutes. That's all. POIs are not allowed. And the mode and the objective of a reply speech is to ensure that you have maximum engagement with your opposition, which is why we don't have POIs in this format. We have reply speeches, which does the job of counter questioning and rebutting whatever your opponent has been saying for so long. Are we clear with all of this?
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing.
I have a doubt.
Yes. Yes, I will take that. I will just take that when everybody is raising their hand, and then I will recognize you. Don't worry. Okay, Zanisha, go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. My query was that when we talk about some factual information, so just to depict it better, can we use an image or a video? Like if I'm talking about Konark Sun Temple, so can I just show a picture of it for better understanding?
So screen sharing is something like it's a debate competition, which we also say that you just have to present it via words and not props. So it's words. We can't use like image or anything to showcase it.
Yeah.
But what if there's
can't.
something of
No.
factual
No,
information?
you can't. No, you
No.
can't. Let's move next. You can't. You will be speaking. The only thing that we allow, which is not taken into consideration, is interesting backgrounds if you want to do that. Not that it comes into marking rubric, but you cannot display or screen share it.
Yes, Harshit? Okay. Sophia?
Yes, ma'am, Harshit.
Ma'am, my doubt is that the topic is from ancient India to modern India only.
It's a theme. You will get the topics by 22nd October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Harshit, ma'am.
Harshit, yes.
That my doubt is that you have given the days of we have to join class from 19 to 21. So I have attended all the questions.
If you attended all the sessions, then please finish this last day. We can't take individual conversations. If anybody is joining the class today for the first time, you can join tomorrow onwards. Okay?
And we are joining from last 2 days.
Yeah,
so
that's fine. You will conclude it today. You don't have to join tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah?
And one that is from that your competition, that when we will go to the motion.
She's repeated it 3 times, by the way. 22nd onwards, you will have your motions, you will have your schedule. For everybody, I don't want to see and hear a repeat question on the same thing. Please finish your training, please finish your mocks, your schedules, motions, everything will come on 22nd. Okay? So try not to ask repeat questions. Yeah.
motion of all 3 rounds will come on 22nd only.
You will get the information on 22nd. It cannot be for the 3 rounds, right? Otherwise, some of you will get the motion if your match is much later. So please wait for that. Yeah, we will do the clarifications along with that. Yeah,
Okay,
please
ma'am.
go ahead next.
Yes, Shloka?
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt that we'll only be given one topic, like from those subtopics, ancient, medieval, or modern India. So we just suppose if I'm given modern, I just have to research about that topic.
I'm
If I
just going to repeat this once more. The tournament moves from qualifiers to identify the state teams. The state teams will play interstate rounds, and the interstate rounds will lead to 4 top teams, which will play the finale and semi-finale at IIT Delhi. So your theme for the qualifiers is ancient India. Your theme for interstate rounds is going to be medieval, and the finale day is going to be modern India. So all of you, right now, if you have to focus your energy, just focus on ancient India. Just read something interesting, but you can start going deeper into it after we release the motion starting 22nd onwards. All right?
Okay. Ma'am, I have one more doubt that suppose if we're given Harappa civilization, something related to that, and our opponent is opposing that. So do we need to research about the negative points as well so that we can counter our opponent, or can
Yeah.
we
Typically, when you have to do a constructive and a reply, you must research both ways because you have to anticipate the reply that your opponent will give. A good research work always anticipates what will my opponent say, and hence I should know and be ready to counter it. Okay, that's a smart way of preparing.
Okay, ma'am, and we need a brief timeline, right? We don't need the exact dates or the words, or
You
we
will-
need a brief timeline.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. When you come to the motion, then you will have a better idea. That does it make sense for me to have an exactness on it? Okay.
Yes.
So Kaushiki ma'am, I'm going to take 2 more doubts because I want you to really demonstrate this by way of mocks, right? Himanshi, go ahead, please.
Actually, ma'am, I was having a doubt that as now Kaushiki ma'am told us that a certain topic will be given to us, and you will be telling us on 22nd October whatever the topic is for the rounds that will be given to us. But ma'am, if we are given another topic, then what to do? And we are not prepared for that. So, ma'am, what can we do if the topic is changed there?
No, why will that happen? If we give you a topic, then your debate will be on that. So we are very organized about it. We do these debates like 4 debates a month. So please be rest assured that you will get the topic that you have been asked and given only. It won't change suddenly, okay? Don't worry about that. Riyansh, go ahead, please.
Ma'am, I have a
Madhulika,
doubt
stop annotating, please.
that will we be guided that we have to oppose the debate, oppose the motion, or we have to do a prop speech?
That's a good question, but both of that 22nd को आपको सब मिल जाएगा. Topic मिल जाएगा, sides मिल जाएगा, time slot मिल जाएगा. Okay? So is that okay? Yeah, Lohit, go ahead.
Shall we use the encyclopedias for the material?
Use anything that you want to. It has to be a credible source, right?
Okay.
Okay, I just called out Riyansh, please. I just want to pick up the younger ones also. Yeah. Go ahead, Riyansh. Okay. Putul, we've taken your question, so hold on. Lohit, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, good evening, ma'am. So, ma'am, all the mock debates are going to be held today, right?
We are just going to do that practice. So I'm just waiting. If we settle the questions, then let's start doing some mock. Kaushiki ma'am has an interesting format on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Madhulika, can you please come and switch on your video, please? Good. So, Myra, just hold on to your doubt, please, because I think we should just go on to some practice. Trust me, your doubt will get answered. Okay. Devika, remove Madhulika from the room. Go ahead, Kaushiki.
Yes. So, since we've understood the format so extensively, and yesterday we also looked at how do we want to prepare a speech and how do we approach a motion. Always approach a motion with these questions. What is the motion asking me to do? Why is this relevant? How can I approach this with a much more solution-oriented approach? And what is the problem that we are trying to solve? Who are the stakeholders? And how do we want to have a structured speech? How do you have a structured speech? Follow these 3 things. Always introduce the topic, ask yourself rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions are not something which like everybody has to ask or everybody has to answer. These questions are genuinely for emphasis. Do you think the population of the country is rising? If yes, what can we do about it? So these are some rhetorical questions that you ask in order to lay emphasis to something which is really important. Second is ensure that you, after the introduction has been done, move towards having an in-depth explanation of your point. So introduction is identifying the key terms of the topic and then introducing it, defining it, trying to characterize it, and then in the second part, you actually explain your arguments. Your arguments can be numerically wide, but ensure that even if your arguments are, let's say, 2, ensure that you explain them in depth. What does this argument actually lead you to? And what is the solution that you're trying to achieve with that argument? Thirdly, conclude it. Always ensure that you provide something of solvability in front of the judges. If you identify a problem, try to solve it or give some steps how you can solve it. So yes, look at one practice topic here. So the topic is, should students have homework in primary school? I'm just going to tell you what you do on prop and what you do on op. And then I'm going to be asking some of you here what you think proposition can say. Just prepare at least one argument, right? Or one reason why you think this thing should be happened or this thing shouldn't be happening. On-site opposition, I will then take up hands and you will have to recognize or give me some reasons. Okay, what are we doing on both sides and what is the general expectation from debaters here? On-site proposition, the burden is simple, that you will say that children should have homework in primary school and you will give reasons why do you think children should have homework, like what are the benefits of having homeworks in primary schools. On-site opposition, you will simply disagree with side proposition and you will simply say that hey, children should not have homework in primary schools and there are disadvantages to children when they start having homeworks in primary school. So I will deal with the first. Everybody please lower your hand. And then I will be asking every one of you like to raise your hand if you know anything on side proposition. We will be discussing extensively on proposition. Everybody lower your hands. Yes, I can see hands going lower. 6 people, just lower your hand. Keep lowering your hand. Giving you 10 seconds to lower all of your hands. That's really lovely. Yes. Now raise your hands if you agree that children should have homework in your primary school. Ensure that you have one argument ready and give enough reasons why do you think that's true. I will be recognizing few hands. Let's start with Ayush.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I am agreeing that children should be given homework in primary school. Ma'am, every children has a dream of becoming something and excelling in his career. If the person starts doing homework and he starts training from his primary only, he is better educated and he is for further time he is practiced well.
Yes, that's nice, Ayush. Sanvi?
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, students should have homework in primary school. One reason is because this will help to revise the topics that and because due to homework they won't have to revise the topics separately.
Yes, revision is imperative. Katyani?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to say that when kids start doing their homework from the primary age, they get more practice of doing it and start excelling more in their studies, which can lead them to better marks and hopefully a better future.
Yes, that's nice, Katyani. Round 2. Now you're giving me one reasons. I want you to come up with 2 reasons now. So everybody that I recognize in the next round, which is right now, I want you to at least have 2 arguments and not one. I'll take Arpit.
Thank you, ma'am. My 2 arguments are it encourages the student for self-learning and it makes the student independent outside the classroom.
Yes, that's very fair, Arpit. Great. Adi?
Yes, ma'am. So my first argument would be that
if students have homework from a very young age, then they can dive into concepts such as group learning and constructive discussions. Also, if they have homework from a young age, they can also prepare for the hard burdens that they're gonna face in their later life.
Yes, thank you, Adi. Vedic?
Yes, miss. I believe that students should have homework in primary as it helps them know their abilities, and it clears their basic concepts.
Yes.
Students can clear the basic roots of the concepts and can easily understand the harder concepts that will be taught to them in higher grades.
Yes, thank you, Vivek. I will recognize 3 more hands for 2 arguments and then I will keep increasing it. So in the next round, I will be asking you to prepare at least 3 arguments on side proposition. Great, 3 more hands. I will take Nakshatra. Okay, I will take Lohit.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. So I believe that children should have homework in primary school because if you know the statistics, over 40 million of people are illiterate in the world. So if children have homework in the primary school, number one, they can revise the topics that they have learned at the school, and number two is that they can practice different types of questions to increase their knowledge.
Yes, thank you, Lohit. I will take Myra.
Yes, ma'am. I want to say that children at the primary level are just like clay, and this is the right time to mold them. So homework will give them confidence for the next level and the bigger classes and the problems which are going to come. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Krish. Devansh.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Krish. Can I say?
Yeah.
Okay. The homework has many benefits. It can prepare the children to take on burdens and pressures later in life, during which they can receive more work during college and also during other examinations. And this will also strengthen their own thinking capacity, as sometimes the teachers can give them hot questions which are harder to solve, in which they have to apply their thinking and use a concept they have learned in school to think of a better idea or how to solve the question given in the homework. It will also make sure that if any concept is covered in school and the child did not understand, the teacher is able to assess where to help the child and how good the child is performing at home, and also how the parents can also help the children, and also helps in studying, increasing the responsibility at a young age, because they have a burden of completing their work on time and effectively.
Yes, that was a very decent reasoning.
Kaushiki ma'am,
and
I just
May I
Yeah.
speak?
Just one second, please. Just before you move forward, I just want you to look at what was also covered yesterday as you state arguments. So, Krish, that was a very good attempt, relatively. So, I want you to always remember when you're making an argument, whether you make 1 or 2 or 3, we always prefer a good fleshed out argument as against many. Okay. And an argument is the claim that you make, that this is the statement I'm making. This is the reason I'm making, which is what you saw Krish get into. He explained it a little more. And if you have an example, then add that.
Okay.
So, next round.
Ma'am, may I also speak?
No. I
May I
want you
speak,
to just
please?
pause. Please, all of you, do not unmute yourself. The session's going well. Kaushiki ma'am, now before you invite them, I'd like you to give them 90 seconds to prepare before they unmute themselves. So I don't want instant reactions, because instant reactions is similar to how you would have anyways argued 3 days prior, right? I want you to be mindful of the training that you've got through, and that's the reason I put it on the chat. Now, when you give us an argument, tell us the claim, explain it a bit, and if you have an example in mind, and it's all right, even if it's not factually correct, right? Make that attempt, because that's what makes you sharper in a debate setting. So, Kaushiki ma'am, as you ask them to, or you ask them to prepare, please give them 90 seconds.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Lower your hand. As we go forward, the reason I'm having round 1 as one argument, round 2 as 2 argument, round 3 as 3 argument, because it helps you to think a little deeper, but it also helps you to think faster, because debates also keep happening on qualitative arguments and how much of an analysis and reasoning can you give. So something that we discussed yesterday as well, always provide a heading. A heading is called your claim, and then explain why that claim is relevant, why that claim is valid, and why that claim is true in a universal capacity. Now give an example, because every argument feels a little incomplete if you don't add something which is realistic and which is very grounded. So give a realistic example which actually helps the audience and the judge relate more to the current status quo. What is the status quo? The current, let's say, there's climate change, there's global warming, there's rise of movements. So all of this proves that we are living in a current scenario where constant change is getting experienced. Yes. Lower your hand. After 90 seconds, I will start recognizing for round 3, where you have like building of 3 arguments. Your 90 seconds start now. Lower your hands, keep lowering your hands so recognition becomes very convenient.
Ma'am, I have a little question. Do we have to prepare for proposition or opposition?
Proposition right now, because we are moving to round 3, where we ask for 3 arguments from proposition.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Please do not unmute yourself. Which one? Yes, just keep lowering your hands. I see 11 hands being raised. Lower your hands.
Ma'am, I'm the Bashman. I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
All right, so I just wanted to ask that what are the features that differentiate a speech from a reply?
Yes.
So this is hold on to it, please. Everybody is in a prep mode right now for 90 seconds. Just hold on to your doubts.
Okay.
Do in a prep, we'll come back to it. Noted.
This is something I wanted to discuss after the motions that we are discussing, because it's like very later.
Okay, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am, I have a doubt. For the preparation round.
30 seconds left, everyone.
I have a doubt regarding the preparation.
Please hold on to it. No further doubts, please. Hold on to it.
10 seconds left. नहीं होगी. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I will recognize hands now. Be prepared with claim, 3 arguments, with a claim, with an analysis, and with an example. Would want to see some examples so that the arguments become more grounded. Yes, I will start with Aryaman.
Yes, ma'am. Greetings to everyone. Today I stand here for the motion that children should have homework in the primary school. Now, this is wonderfully quoted and proven that practice makes a man perfect. And here we can really relate to the motion by giving the example of the quote, as a child or a student needs practice to cope up with what they are lacking in. For example, there is a boy who lacks in mathematics. When he is given homework every single day or alternative days, he can really grease himself up in the area in which he is lacking in. Now, the second thing is that homework can encourage critical thinking. Okay, by asking students to apply concepts learned in class to real world scenarios or problems, they develop critical thinking skills that are essential for success in both academic and professional settings. For example, higher order thinking skills questions in science can help a child to cope up with the critical thinking in which he is lacking in. Next is preparing for tests. It is the most important. Homework prepares students for tests. By practicing and reviewing material learned in class, students are better equipped to succeed on quizzes and texts, which may lead to the child improving in several areas. Thank you.
Thank you. And that was like a really nice structure. Keep following it for your qualifiers as well. I will recognize Ritin. Also, there's one more rule and that I'm making it applicable right now. Just switch on your camera when you actually speak your speeches or present your points. That actually counts in your manner. Yes, Ritik, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So, the benefit of homework, like homework in primary school should be given because it helps them to learn new skills. Homework is important because it helps students to learn new and advanced skills. It helps to promote self-study, research and time management skill enhances when students do homework in primary also and as well as seniors. So it also builds their confidence in cracking problems independently without constant help from teachers and parents. Like they become independent. They do not need any help from parents or any elder or teachers. They can count on themselves and work positively. And they can work with themselves.
Yes, thank you, Ritik, for that fine speech. Sure.
Ma'am, may I?
It was sure. I recognize sure.
Good evening, everyone. So, I'll be making 3 claims. First of all, a source of happiness for the parents and for the children is when the child comes home, he sits down and he does his homework. Isn't that a sense of satisfaction for both the parents and the child? And we're not here to put pressure on the students of primary schools because we know that they're really young. And when they feel happiness, they tend to be happy. Second, and this point is a major one. Secondly, I state that uh, homework can also help a child build his skills with understanding the concepts because homework is something outside the class to practice, and as mentioned by other people before, homework homework is practicing, and homework can help improve your skills further when you're outside the classroom. And and the last point is that homework is and my last point is that homework can also provide a sense of knowledge because even the young children need to do some research work. If they go on looking for books and they do some work on themselves and they do some research, they can go on and they can become better people in the future.
Yes, thank you so much, Shore, for that structured speech. I will recognize
may
one
I speak one
hand.
more?
No, do
Ma'am,
not interrupt yourself because I will be giving you enough chances to speak on opposition, and we have like 2 more topics to discuss as well. So lower your hands. I will recognize one last hand. Students who have already spoken, do not raise your hand again because I would want to prioritize somebody who is not spoken. The rule for speaking is switch on your camera so that I can see you as well making arguments. So let me see who has their camera switched on. Yes, I'll give this chance to Jasween.
Okay, ma'am. Knowledge is no value unless you put into knowledge. So a student may have doubt in a class and may fear to ask the teacher. So if a student then doesn't do the homework, the teacher understands that he have a doubt. So the homework provides a good use to the teachers, and homework also gives a responsibility to the student. And so student may have not done the homework in time. So homework may help the student doing in the completion of time. Also, homework brings a punctuality to the children. If a student doesn't do the homework in time, it helps them to bring it. That's it, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. At least you tried. On side op, let's lower your hands, everyone. We will be discussing side opposition now. So I want all the hands, just lower your hand. All the 31 hands just go down. I will recognize individuals who are opposition now. The question then arises on side opposition. So I hope you've understood what to do on proposition. Everybody might have the same points. It's just that the difference becomes on the kind of analysis and creativity and novelty that you have. So try to read more about the things that you observe in regular life, because debate is about making opinions that you observe in social settings, like societal issues, political issues, economical issues, the latest developments that you've gone through in newspaper, and all of these things are relevant for you to make informed choices and informed opinions. Great, lower your hands. I see 22 hands still really rising. Yes, I will discuss opposition now. The question on side opposition then becomes, why should you not allow children to have homeworks in primary schools? There are strong reasons for it. I have my own. So yes, I will start recognizing hands, just like lower all of your hands. I see so many hands now. But yes, I will recognize 5 hands, and I will only be giving chances to individuals who are switching on their cameras, because I want you to look at like the audience or interact with it in a full capacity. Yep, I see cameras. That's wonderful. I'm going to give the first chance to Ojasveer.
Thank you, ma'am. As yes, ma'am. So, as kids are in primary school, they are still developing their motor skills, their mindset, etc., their personality. And in primary school, they also learn about themselves and how the society works. At such a young age, we can't give them homework necessarily, as this may cause them to have stress while not finishing it. And also, learning in primary school is like making the base of the building which will be their future. By making them stressed about their work and thinking of this learning process as a chore, they may not want to learn it as much, and therefore by giving them homework, get they may not want to work harder and work for better goals and learning. In my opinion, children should start getting homework around 5th to 6th grade, as that's the point where children start learning about history, English, maths, etc., where children don't necessarily need to, like, it's not necessarily a point where they can't uh, stop doing homework.
Great, thank you so much, Ojasveer. I will be recognizing Zanisha.
Greetings, everyone. Homework has always been a burden for many of the primary children. Adults always emphasize on homework and its benefits, but has anyone thought about the child's mindset? Every child had a different ability to do something. I would say, in this case, a child is like a sapling, and you can't expect a young sapling to give out a fruit when it's so young and they're just learning. I would say that they should receive more of practical knowledge rather than homework, because homework is always a burden for them. It is always pressurizing for them, and it causes a lot of damage to their mental health. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just try to explain a little more so the opinion becomes more deep. Mayank.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me the chance. So, I firmly believe that children should not have homework in primary schools, as they need to be good at extracurricular activities, as they are at the state of nurturing these days for learning, and homework can still stifle them. It disturbs family and create inequalities, and they obviously lacks educational value. And children need time for playing and extracurricular activities and social development, and we should think about that, as it's way too important from that to nurture at this age. That's it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Athar.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think making children do homework at a very young age
may hamper with their mental status, as they will think education as a burden and not take any real interest in them. And as they will also face stress of completing their homework, they will not play or do any extracurricular activities which could have been a good hobby or a profession with to them in the future.
Thank you so much, Atharv. I will be recognizing 2 more hands. I see. Good that you're switching on your cameras. Arth Modani.
कैमरा स्विच ऑन करें तुम अर्थ मुदानी हो जी जो
Yes, ma'am. Just a second,
Yes,
ma'am.
you can start.
Yes, ma'am. I feel delightful standing in front of all of you as the opposition of the crucial topic: should students have homework in primary schools? So, first of all, I'd say that students, or I must say kids, are very young to manage 6 hours exhausting school day and having much more exhausting homework and not providing them adequate rest or some creativity. More homework can turn out to make them believe that studies are becoming heavier on them day by day. Thank you.
Thank you, Arth. I will be recognizing Anvi Joshi from 8th G.
Thank you, ma'am. This house believes that children should not have homework at such a young age and in primary school. I feel like that children in the primary school should have weekends to enjoy their playtime and enjoy life at such a young age and not build up the stress and homework which we get after 9 hours of school and other extracurricular activities.
Yes, that's wonderful. I'll recognize one more last hand. I think Shaunak.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for allowing me to speak. So, ma'am, this house believes that students in primary school should not have to deal with homework, as if there is a lot of homework, a child may get a sense of stress for him, which is not good, as in the later life, he may need to step up for himself, which he may not be able to do because he may feel small compared to others due to that stress. And my second point, it creates a sense of competition between students, that who does the homework the best, who does it the fastest, which can also not be helpful as it will pressurize him and he will not be able to focus on his studies. My third point is that all students will feel very pressured at a young age if they have constant homework to deal with, and in some cases the student may even take his own life. For example, a boy who cannot understand a topic quite well gets homework on it every day. After a while, he feels so pressured by that, he stops paying attention to it. This topic is very important for him in his future life, but since he does not know it, it harms him. That's why I believe homework should not be assigned to children in primary school. Thank you.
Ma'am, may Akash also Thank you so much. And just stay muted and lower your hands now because we will be having more topics and I will be recognizing more hands later. Thank you so much. for
Calling
your
out
patience.
more hands, Kaushiki. Thank you. All of you, please understand, we are trying to run a variation of topics through you. So this is lovely. I am so proud to see the improvement in the quality of the arguments you're presenting. So lower your hands. When ma'am says it once, it means once, right? Doesn't require repeat instructions because we are a smart group. So lower your hands. Kaushiki, you are going to run another type of argument for us now?
Yes, I will just give a brief on what arguments on proposition and what does analysis look like. So here I've prepared a couple of arguments on side proposition and I think most of them are already covered. But most important prioritization of the arguments happen right here. So you have 6 benefits. Why should you have homework? Improves learning. Tell me, how does it improve learning? I'm just giving you cues here. Second, increases time management in students. How, what, why, give an example. How does a student change and how does the behavior of a student becomes more serious when they try to manage time via homework. 3, practices continuously and clears concepts. 4th, prepares them for future. 5th, teachers can help in areas of improvement and give qualitative feedback. Sixth, parents can keep a check on progress of the child. Note, all of them are headings and all of them are claims if you look at it. Your job is to keep analyzing those claims and keep giving reasons. What does arguments on opposition look like? You have a couple of arguments on opposition, 6 arguments. First, it gives stress to small children because they are primary students and you do not want to take away maximum play time away from them and you want to just burden them with academics constantly. Second, children are too young to get heavy homework and do it themselves. They need constant assistance and guidance. Third, lack of free time, which means you will compromise on family time, play time, extracurriculars, maybe going on a vacation. Fourthly, no time to explore interests. It's very important for you to constantly try to excavate new hobbies. This looks like you get to play piano, singing, get into dance classes, get into Zumba classes, become a better chess player. Fifthly, can lead to academic burnout. So what is academic burnout? It's just like if you constantly study, there is also this amazing idiom which goes around, all play makes Jack a dull boy. So yes, academic burnout looks like that you're constantly studying and you're not dedicating enough time to, let's say, meditation or stress relieving activities or focusing on hobbies. Sixthly, difficult homeworks can lead them to malpractices such as you ask your siblings or you try to use ChatGPT or you try to use other, let's say, malicious guides which might be helpful for your homework. So yes, there's an increased level of dependency. Note, all of them are claims and we have to analyze all of them. I'm just giving you cues here and important questions that you want to answer. Next practice topic is, again, I will give you what you have to do on proposition, what you have to do on opposition, and keep lowering your hands. I will recognize a couple of individuals for prop and a couple of individuals on opposition. Yes, the topic is it better to learn from books or from internet? So what are you doing on proposition? It's a prefers motion, which means what element are you preferring on proposition and what element are you preferring on opposition? So there are 2 elements here, books or internet. On proposition, you just have to analyze why is it better for you to learn from books, and on side opposition, you analyze whether the usage of internet as a learning mode is better. Great. Let's understand proposition. I'm going to give you all 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds to come up with 3 arguments on side proposition and then raise your hand. Lower your hands, everyone. Your time, 40 seconds starts now. Lower your hands.
Ma'am, first we do proposition.
Yes. Twenty seconds left.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, Dakshin, I have a doubt.
Sorry?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, ma'am, like we are introducing our points in the in the first proposition, but ma'am, what do we do in the reply then?
I will be discussing that later when we're done with the mock exercise. Only focus on creating a constructive speech right now. We will be discussing reply. Reply, this is a question that I'm getting. I'm just addressing it. So reply speeches are basically for you to refute whatever your opposition has been saying or your opponent has been saying and you summarize. That's all. 2 responsibilities. 10 seconds left, everyone.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, may I ask a question, if you please allow
Yeah.
it? I wanted to ask, like, how do we start an opposition speech if we want to? Like, should we give an introduction and then start our main point? Like, what is the base that we are opposite about?
Oh, follow the normal format. Introduction, body, conclusion. Why do you disagree with proposition? That's all.
No, I am agreeing with opposition and disagreeing with proposition. So, should I mention that in my speech?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am, I'm Adi. Can I ask a
I
doubt?
will be taking all the doubts later. I've entertained too.
Okay, ma'am.
5 seconds left. I'll just do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now raise your hands, and the only criteria for me to address and choose you is just switch on your camera. Individuals have spoken for like before topics. I will be recognizing them later. Okay. Aryaman Kaushik, grade 8A.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, later.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Greetings to the house at large. Today I stand here to oppose the motion that speak in a position that it is better to learn from the internet. The proposition that it is better to learn from the books. So sorry. First of all, I want to start my speech with the quote: "A book is a gift that you can open again and again." Okay, first of all, let us talk about reading skills. Reading books helps develop essential reading skills such as comprehension, vocabulary, and critical thinking. It is a fundamental aspect of education and personal development that is still valued in modern society. Second is lifelong principles. So, you are on the internet, you are searching things. That will be just a glimpse of an information, but if you are reading in a book, you will understand it completely. It will be base by base, just like a building is formed. So books are a slow process because it allows their users and readers to respond, react, and transform. The lifelong principles mentioned in a book motivate readers, give them a new path and new perspective, make them see the world more positively, make them see the world with a different perspective, altogether make them understand the actual happiness and the reality of life, making them more responsible. Now in conclusion, reading books is an enriching and enlightening experience that can make us feel intelligent and very smart. The comfort and imagination that comes with the reading are unparalleled. As we delve into a book, our brain becomes active and our imagination takes flight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a really enrapturing speech. Next is Hamsini. Try to be very precise so that I can give more opportunities to more people, but also analyze, even if you have like one point, analyze it in 2 to 3 sentences at least. Yes, Hamsini, you can go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I am Hamsini Talaru, and I'm here to speak. Why is it better to learn from books? In my opinion, it is better to learn from books because you are really while on the internet, you can get distracted by many things. But while reading books, you're focused on that one book you're reading. Also, like books. Books also provide way more information than the internet does. Like when you're reading history and whenever you're trying to search for history, and history topic, the internet just gives a brief about it. But in many books which we have right now, it gives a very nice explanation of each and every topic. And also that books come in various topics which are very same. Some books also help us understand a lot better. We are more focused and our vocabulary is way better. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Next is Sohana Rastogi.
Greetings, everyone. I am Sohana Rastogi. Feels honored to be a part of this debate. Well, I am on opposition side. as it is better to learn from internet because it gives us a wider view on the topic that we want to learn, and it enhances our exploring skills. Uh, thus developing our mindsets. Internet also has options for doing various things like reading, searching, and making and connection with people worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vikram, Aditya, and Daksh.
Ma'am, it is better to learn from books since we can see more information rather than the internet. Plus, if you try to seek information from the internet, you will just rather get distracted and start to play games.
Great, thank you. I will recognize two more hands. Krish Gupta.
Yes, ma'am. Today, I, the opposition, strongly believe that learning from the internet is much more effective than learning from books. The internet has many more benefits over books. First of all, the internet provides a vast repository of information that we could not get from a single book. We can learn a lot of things from a single web article, and we also find the sources through which the web article has been compiled, allowing us to check the variability of the information provided in the article. Sometimes we cannot do this in a book because the author might have made a mistake and we don't have actively got any networking device we can use to search or to search for the reliability of the data. Also, the internet is better because it provides us to stay the latest information and up-to-date accurate information. A book might have been published, and a lot of books like on topics like political science or current affairs might be outdated and might not provide the latest information which can be provided through e-news articles or web articles. It is also, the internet is also useful because it is able to cater to the needs of various learners, such as visually impaired or people who are not able to hear properly. People can use audiobooks to listen if they are visually impaired, and there are many different ways you can learn on the internet based on your own speed and standard. So all in all, I believe the internet is a much better way to learn from books, and I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really comparative. So I really like the effort of doing a comparison why books are better relatively as opposed to internet. So I want you to also follow this strategy. This is called trying to think what your opposition or opponent might think, and then you compare it with your speech. You wouldn't know what your opponent is thinking verbatimly, but you can generalize. You can think something on whatever your opponent is thinking, and then you might refute it preemptively. It is a strategy that most debaters use just because they want to make the speeches much more comparative. So compare it, try to whatever device you're using. So let's say you're creating your speech on a paper, divide it into two parts, write your speech, and then think on whatever your opponent is thinking, and then compare it. Why are we comparatively more better? That's a better strategy. And also, individuals who are annotating on the screen, please don't. Yes, I will be now moving on to opposition. So the question on opposition looks like, it is better to learn from the internet. Try to make your speech comparative and think of 4 arguments, giving you 30 seconds. 4 arguments, screen should be your devices, which means your camera should be switched on, and individuals who are annotating, I wouldn't give you chance anyway. So yes, 30 seconds start. 4 arguments. Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am. Now we are going to prepare for the opposition, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Great.
Ma'am, so we can't do it for the prop anymore. We have to do it only for the opposition.
No problem.
Kaushiki, can you stop sharing and then reshare, or just stop sharing the slide? It's obviously distracting some restless minds. Can you just type the topic on the chat? I see the energy levels are lovely. Let's use it constructively. Just put it on the chat. We decide to annotate.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. Kaushiki, just put the total title on the chat. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I've prepared. Can I speak?
Yeah, just one. Okay, so just take 30 seconds more because I interrupted. it is better to learn from books or internet. Is that the motion, Kaushiki?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All of you
I'm also
in the
prepared.
chat,
Can I
Excuse me,
speak?
ma'am.
please hold on. You know the ground. Please, no. Whoever's speaking in the middle, Ekaksh, not at all. No, don't do that. Okay. So Kaushiki ma'am, back to you. 30 seconds, but I'd really like to have more children given a chance because this is a practice round, right?
Ma'am.
Okay, Kaushiki ma'am, over to you.
Yes. Although we have 10 seconds more, I will start the countdown at 5 seconds.
Excuse me, ma'am.
That's
I have a
lovely.
doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ma'am, I want to ask, like, in the reply speech, one of the points said that we need to answer or we need to persuade the judges to say, like, point that why I should win. So
Yes, think of reply speech as a moment where you try to convince the judges that you're the winner. Try to judge from your end. That's all.
how
It's a
can we, like,
convincibility
do that?
speech. Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm prepared. Ma'am,
Can
may
I
I speak? Ma'am,
Yes,
I
do
can't.
not unmute yourself. I will be recognizing you later. People who unmute, I wouldn't be giving you chance. Yes, so just be patient. Yes, I will now be recognizing few hands. Do not unmute yourself. Just raise your hand and be
Stop sharing
patient.
the slide, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Just use the chat. Okay.
Yes. Myra Rena from 7G. Myra, we can't hear you. Maybe we'll come back to you later. Arav Kastur from 7C.
Thank you for giving me a chance. So I'm Araf Kasturi. So this house believes that uh, internet is uh, internet is good than books because technology has made it easier to access information. For example, students can use the internet to explore subjects, conduct research, and access education materials that may be or not available in traditional textbooks. The internet also allows people to access information on almost every other topic which is imaginable. Technology can also automate tasks, set up reminders, and commute efficient pay bills, etc. Technology has also made reading more accessible. People can download and read books instantly on their phones, tablets, e-readers without carrying heavy physical books. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Arav. That was really a crisp and a structured answer. I will be now recognizing Mayank Sisodia.
So, being in the favor of that studying through internet is way too better than books. So, in today's evolving world, I firmly believe that learning through the internet is far more effective and dynamic mean of gaining knowledge as compared to books because the internet provides us with a wealth of benefits that go beyond what books give us. And for first and foremost, the internet provides limitless access to a vast spectrum of information with a simple search. We can dive into the into the river of knowledge. We can get videos with on our fingertip, and online courses and research papers all are available at the internet, which is way too better than books. Thank you.
Thank you. Kaushik Anandita, grade 7.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, I think that the internet is much better than books as a source of information and for research, as the internet contains a much larger repository of information. The internet is much wider, it is much bigger, and it contains a wealth of information that you can't find in any book. You can also the internet is much faster to access. You don't have to wait for the book to be ordered. And also, as long as you have a computer or an iPad or any kind of phone or anything that can access the internet, you can access most of the data on the internet. But that is not the case for books. Books need to be bought. Books need to be bought, so they can also be a significant expenditure of money. This is why the internet is better than books as a source of information.
Ma'am,
Thank
can
you.
Ekaksh speak?
Samayev Saluja.
I don't get a single.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for recognizing me. So, I like to believe that the internet is better for learning rather than the traditional textbook because, first reason, flexibility. This is one of the best benefits of online education. The flexibility that online courses offers the students to have much better control of their schedule. And also, the second reason is reduced cost. For example, buying a textbook and then ordering it. Instead of that, we could just find an e-copy of the textbook on the internet, which would come off as much less cheaper than buying the entire book on Amazon and then waiting for it to be delivered. Which leads me to my third point. It is less time can be given for less time can be used for searching on the internet rather than reading the book. For example, if we read the book, it takes a lot of time and concentration. However, with just one click of a button, we can have information from all across the world in our fingertips. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Amev. Sarisha?
Hi,
Thank you
Miss.
so much. Thank
Hi,
you, ma'am,
Miss.
for recognizing.
Miss,
Yes,
is it
Sarisha, continue.
Sarisha?
Yes, Sarisha, continue.
Yes, Miss. Thank you so much for recognizing me. So, surfing on the internet is more time saving than reading books. So, checking multiple websites on multiple tabs is definitely easier than checking different books at the same time. They are cost effective, convenient, portable, and environment friendly. The cost of internet access is nowadays quite low, and usually there is no limit to how much you are allowed to explore. Thank you.
Great, Sanvi?
Ma'am, may Ekaksh speak?
No.
May I speak?
Yeah, continue, Sanvi.
Thank you, ma'am. I strongly believe that finding information on the internet is much more better than searching information on books. In books, one reason is because the internet has no limitations in data and information, while in books they are limited to the specific amount of data that has been provided in that particular book. Another reason is that it's much more quicker to search for data on the internet. It's just a click away. Like, for example, if you want to search the particular date when the Battle of Buxar happened, you just have to type it and done. But in books, you have to search through it properly, and that'll take maybe hours. Is that it is more reliable. The internet provides more reliable information as it is not outdated. But in books, it is usually at what time it was made. Internet also goes according to your pace. In books, there's only one type of learning, that is through reading and listening. But in the internet, we can learn through video, audios, and reading as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanvi. Recognizing like 3 more hands, and then I'll be moving towards
Please,
just
may I speak?
what either sides look like. I will not be recognizing somebody who's unmuting themselves constantly because I am observing. Yes, Viraj.
Let's just finish with the last example. I just want to take a few doubts towards the last 10 minutes, Kaushiki. So one more.
Yeah.
Viraj, go ahead.
Since we're running on a time crunch, just last hand, and then we'll move towards. Yeah.
So yes, ma'am, I think that learning from internet is way more effective because of, first of all, if we want some topic to be explained, we can just go up on YouTube and look up at many channels in which that topic can be explained. Second of all, there are many sub-minor topics that cannot be explained so much briefly on a book. But here we can just go on a ChatGPT and write 2,000 word essays on that, and so much information will be given at our fingertips. Third of all, as some people said before as well, internet is always updated. And books, if you read a book of 2011, it will only provide information of 2011. And if you use hookup ChatGPT, you can see information of 2023 as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for showing maximum level of enthusiasm in this mock. I will be running through what does the argument on proposition and opposition look like. So on proposition,
Kaushiki, here is my suggestion. I think you have the PDF with all of you. most of you have covered these arguments. So Kaushiki, they
Yeah.
can get into it on their own. I think I'm greatly impressed. So you can stop sharing. I'm greatly impressed with the quality improvement that you all have shown. And now imagine what you can do in 90 seconds and what will you do if I were to give you 2 days. Okay. And that's what gets me to the next set of thinking and next set of planning that you should do now that we are getting into the zone of declaring the qualifiers, right? So all of you, and you can all put down your hands. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm. You cannot imagine how impressed we are. This is by far the most enthusiastic group I have seen. Okay. So now I want you to think about this very clearly and keep these dates in mind. We have done the training from 16, 17, 18. And because this is a mega tournament where students from all across the country are coming from every state, we are going to do one more round of training, which is on 19, 20, 21, but you don't have to attend it because it's going to be the same structure. Okay. Often we have seen the students who come for the first time win because they follow the structure more clearly. So that's what my observation is. That's what my request also is, that don't undermine the method bit of it, because all of you really are good at researching. You will get your matter right. You will speak well. You will figure out how to practice. Matter and manner get sorted faster. But the structure, the method, this, that bit is where we often see children make mistakes. So focus on that. Okay. What's going to happen from now onwards is, today is the 18th. We are going to finish the last batch of training, like I said, by 21st. 22nd is when the team is putting in the schedules. Like, what does the schedule mean? It means Arnav Singh is participating. He's going to have 3 chances to play qualifiers, which is going to be on, say, 26th of October, maybe like I say, 1st of November, and maybe 4th of November. Okay, Arnav, that's clear. So you might get 3 dates on which you will play qualifiers. We will try to keep it on different dates because we want you to have time to prepare. You are going to have the first 2 motions as prepared, and we are evaluating the third, which means that we will declare the motions 2 or 3 days prior. So you will have time to prepare. Okay, so don't worry about that at all. And how are you preparing? You're preparing for every round, you're preparing 2 speeches, which is the constructive and the reply, which is around 6 minutes. So if I were to think about it, then you're doing 180 plus 180 word of preparation, but you're also leaving some brain space to anticipate the reply of the opposition and weave that in, because we will be able to figure out that who was listening to the opposition versus who was just rattling off a speech that they had mugged up. Right? Don't do that. So for your reply speeches, be alert, listen to what the your opposing team is saying, and then weave that in. So we will play qualifiers from 26th to 7th. Yes, it's a festive season. So we will bake in some holidays. And one of the holidays I want to bake in is Halloween, because I like to celebrate it. So we'll definitely have a holiday for Halloween, but we will declare this. So schedule will come to you. Along with the schedule, the time will be typically 3:30 to 8:30. 3:30 we invite you all in, which means that we will start the debate at 4 p.m. and we are dot on time. Okay, I don't like to be late, and I'll encourage you not to do that either. So 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we will do the tournament, take a 30-minute break. Again, we will do it from 6:30 onwards to 8:30. So it's 3:30 to 8:30. You should typically keep it free, especially if it's your day of schedule. What else should I tell you? Okay, typically we will tell you how it runs, but when we put the schedule, then we will put the motion over there. We will put the side also over there. We do this very meticulously, so you don't have to worry about it. And the other thing that children ask typically are, ma'am, I am traveling. What do I do? I'm not available. I'm in a tournament. Drop the email at hello@ogly.ai. I definitely can't remember it on a Zoom call, right? But when you drop an email to me, I have it documented. There's a team which reads it, which says, okay, I will try to take this into consideration. Having said that, if you give me too many requests, I will say no requests to be entertained, because we declared it upfront that these are your dates of qualifier, which we don't want to do. So if there is really an urgent need for you to put availability, then you better put it today, not later than today, or at max by tomorrow, because the schedules are getting generated, right? We've actually generated the rough schedule already by now. hello@ogly.ai. You all have that? Do you want me to type that as well once? Right? That's the only place I listen to things, because that's the only way it works. So when you drop me a mail, put your class, put your grade, just so that we know who we are talking to. All of you should be on the WhatsApp group because that's the only source of official communication that we are doing. I'm not communicating by any other way except for the boarding school where the educator is getting all the information. Yeah, these are the frequently asked questions that I normally have. If you have a question which is over and above this and it is super imperative and it is not related only to you, but it is related to the larger group, then please ask it. Because individual questions, you can just hang around for a little longer or just drop us an email. That works much better. Yeah. Okay. Let me just take a few questions.
I
but
have a doubt.
Yeah, but don't speak out of turn. I'll just call you out. Just keep your hand up. So Priya, let's go. And let's be very brief about it, please. Go, Priya. Ask your question.
Ma'am, can we use mobile in can we use internet between debate?
You won't get the chance, Priya. Aapka constructive speech and reply speech में the gap is only 30 seconds of thinking time, right? Your opponent is speaking for 3 minutes. You have to hear him out. उसमें आप research करोगे, it's a bad idea. So you must understand you will not win a debate because आपका statistic is better. You will win a debate because your argument was better, which you can preempt. So I would say that during your debate, focus on the listening to your opponent. You have spoken, they are speaking, listen to them. Think through what they are saying, right? Don't get into research mode. Arav, go ahead.
Okay, ma'am.
Arnav, sorry. Arnav, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, I wanted to ask that, ma'am, you said that the use of ChatGPT is strictly denied, but like, ma'am, ChatGPT has a feature that helps you summarize all the important books and give you all the things that you'll be needing. So can we use that feature?
The point is that your quality of the argument is better done when you are thinking through why this topic will happen, right? You can use anything for research, but imagine if you were to put a debate topic and I were to put the debate topic, our content will come out to be the same, na? So आपकी originality चली जाती है. So often what has happened is like plagiarism tool helped children become more innovative because they couldn't copy. ChatGPT expects you to think at a higher order and your original thinking is far more pure. Have that faith, right? I'm going to send a link of Harish Natarajan, the man who defeated IBM's AI debater. So have faith on your argument, but use the sources for fleshing it out. ये reasoning क्या हो सकती है? Evidence क्या हो सकता है? Arod, go ahead, please. Arod.
Another doubt.
No, Arod, you can take only one at a time, please. Arod, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I had a doubt that what will be the time for the conclusion in the debate?
Time for the conclusion. I mean, you've got the introduction, you've got the body, you've got the conclusion. You can actually split it as you wish, but typically give it at least
debate.
30 seconds to 45 seconds to be able to do that. Okay, all of you who are not speaking, please be on mute. Please be mindful of it. All of you who are done, who are clear, please feel free to leave, right? Because we are done with the content. And just take the doubts.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.